called TJ's new look the day he showed up with half his head shaved or the side of his head shaved.
You're like, fuck up.
Because, there's no way back from it. You can't just go like, I just want to let it grow out. Because then you got like 8 months worth of it just sticking out of the side of your head. Like, yep. You got to shave it down. I knew it was coming.
See, me and Paul, TJ, commit. Look at Paul's beard.
Yeah.
Commitment. You can't just have a beard like that tomorrow.
8 years plus of commitment.
Look at that. Fucking beautiful beard. Look at my hair, TJ. Long, luscious, beautiful.
Yeah.
I take umbrage with Scotty's depiction of what he has as a beard.
I mean, it was a little bit different the way it actually went down.
I have a very particular definition of a beard.
I was talking about your beard.
Oh, yeah.
Mine's just like a little bit of scruff. But see, I'm not trying to commit to that.
You've
long
got
beard.
a close cropped kind of like thing.
Yeah, I don't want a bushy ass beard.
I like this Coke because it's making me burp a lot. I really have a thing for burping into this microphone.
We all have this hair trend that passes around between long hair and shaving our heads bald and shit. If you go all the way back, it's always been that way. But
honestly, you know what?
Nobody's ever gone down the fucking bushy beard route.
You know what really crystallized, though, for me, the need to shave my head is when I went to Scotty's house and his hair was out, and I saw how long it was. I'm like, man, Scotty's got long hair now? Nah. Nah, man. Fuck this.
Because you realize what true long hair was about. You're like, damn, Scotty's hair game. I just can't match that shit.
That was it. I was just like, God damn, Scotty's hair looks too cool.
You can't match it, dude. You know you can't, TJ.
Put your hair down for a second, Scotty. Show the people.
Show the people your hair, Scotty.
Show the people that hair, bro.
Undo your samurai's bun.
Dude, I mean, I wouldn't normally do this, but if it is to show TJ, I mean, it's got to be done.
I mean, it's going to make him feel
I mean, a fucking
inferior.
warrior doesn't normally do this, TJ.
Of course. It's very rare for a warrior to take his hair down.
It was like the first time I saw
Look at this. Oh, my God. He's like Thor, the god of thunder.
Flowing locks,
Holy
TJ.
fucking shit. I might shave my head, too.
The flowing locks, TJ.
What the fuck? He looks like an 80s wrestler. It's fucking awesome. Hold on.
The resplendent locks.
The fuck, man? I haven't done anything to my hair in like a year. I'm nowhere near that. Yeah.
You know what I think?
Come on, be more like Thor. Well, yeah, be more like that. I'm fine with that. Lucius Malfoy was a pimp.
He definitely was. He has style for sure.
Style?
Yeah.
You bow down in front of him. That's not style.
I mean, TJ, oh man, TJ, hey Paul, why don't you slip your hair? Oh yeah, I feel so wonderful. Oh man, having this.
I mean, my hair is nice and long.
The
though.
long, luscious, the hair flip, TJ.
Oh yeah, dude, let's give him a hair flip.
Yeah. Oh man.
Wow, that felt nice.
Feels really good to do.
Got it out of my eyes.
Yeah, but you know what I can do? I can sit here and rub it. It feels cool.
Yeah, dude. You know what?
If I want to feel that, I just rub my balls.
There's
after
already
I
a really
them.
ultra famous fucking shaved head podcast. TJ's name is Joe Rogan. You fuck try to ape Joe Rogan, dude.
Yeah.
You should have go back on Joe Rogan and be like, I'm becoming the new you. Except fat.
Except fat, bald,
and lazy.
and not nearly as popular.
Dude, we should just do every show with our our wonderful locks spilling over our shoulders from now on, just to make TJ uncomfortable.
Oh yes.
Oh yeah.
Oh, excuse me. Hold on. Oh, I'm not ready to go yet. I'm not ready to go yet. I just got to get my. Sorry, my locks are not flowing.
Man,
right.
1 second.
Oh, there we go.
Right,
yeah. Spill out over my shoulders. There we go. Oh yeah.
Tisk.
Long flowing locks,
oh,
TJ.
Man, what's such a burden to have.
Yeah, it's so crazy.
The hair of He-Man.
Right.
The hair of Hercules, TJ.
Yeah.
And you had this, TJ. Think about this. You had this, dude. You were there, man.
Pair of modern-day
you
Samsons
used to fucking
sitting here.
be something, TJ.
Right.
Grow your hair back, man.
Grow my hair back, yeah.
Pair of modern-day Samsons sitting next to a victim of Delilah, dude.
I want to do the short hair. I'm gonna steal Paul's old look. I'm gonna do the short hair and I'm gonna grow the beard out. So.
Yeah, but you won't commit to it. You'll fucking.
Yeah, I won't. I mean, I'll get sick of it and I'll change it again.
Why can't you commit to something, TJ? You just can't commit, dude.
Why don't you do something crazy?
Like what?
Train the beard, start from here. Train the beard to grow up and over your head and make like a dual thing going. I've never seen somebody do it.
You know what you need to do, man?
Okay.
You have the opportunity now. Mohawk, man.
Mohawk, huh?
Mohawk TJ, dude.
Just keep shaving this, but just keep growing it in the middle.
Yep.
Spiking
let
it up.
it
Get that fucking spiking like wood glue shit.
I don't know
dude.
how I'd even wear these headphones.
Wireless.
Yeah, I
wireless,
guess I could do that.
Why don't you do that thing that the monks used to do, where you just keep shaving this part, but let everything else grow out?
Right. Okay.
I don't see anybody sporting that no more.
Yeah, that's a fucking.
That's
lost,
a look that's
a
waiting
lost
to
art.
it's waiting to get brought back.
It's waiting for its resurgence. It's like bell bottoms. It's just waiting.
You know,
in the
you also
wings.
could try it, TJ. Maybe do the fucking walrus, dude. We did that in the other episode the other day.
Oh yeah,
The walrus.
You can bring the walrus back, dude.
I've got enough mustache to do it.
Yeah, you could pull it off if
I shaved everything else.
Well, you're not gonna do that.
Look at
but
that. Look at that. You see it?
I see it, man.
Oh, yeah.
Hold on. Let's get a better look at that.
Look at it. Watch.
Oh damn! For a minute, I'm like,
That.
it's too bad Paul will not shave, dude, because Paul just kept that and the sideburns, dude.
Dude, I could even do the twisty thing.
Yeah, you could. That's true.
Indeed. Oh, look at that shit, dude. Paul
See?
Esquire
Paul
at
could-
your service.
It's all there.
Quit stalling, Paul.
Yeah, dude, I could do the Stalin stash. The one that I really think about doing most is just
The
Yeah.
burn sides.
get rid of the chin, just like from right there. Either side of my chin, just shave everything. Maybe leave the soul patch.
That is a very neckbeard thing to do. So I mean, that would be
And then
pretty respectable.
Like get rid of all that right there and just have these, you know what I mean, just big fucking sideburns connected by a mustache.
You've been talking about this for like a year and a half.
I've been really considering it for like a year.
I don't know if Paul
when you
ever
have
did,
when you
though.
have a beard for 8 years,
Yeah,
you
it's
really
kinda
heavily fucking
Yeah,
consider
you got to
it.
weigh it out. That's definitely true.
I mean, that's I mean, it's hard to pull the trigger on something like that because, like you said, you have 8 years invested in that. That's hard just to say, "Fuck this, I'm done."
And it's a while before it gets back to this
right.
length.
Yeah, probably. I'm guessing about 2 or 3 years to get back to at least here.
Right, and I would have
Yeah.
to fucking I would have to do what TJ did because it would just look weird as it grew out. If I wanted this back, I would have to
all the
basically
way.
let it grow a little bit and then trim everything down to that length and let it.
Yep.
You'd be White Gill Paul for a while.
That's
man.
what keeps me from doing it.
Yeah.
Because if I do it and I hate it, my only
Fuck,
option is
dude.
basically shaving.
And then you got to press the reset button.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that sucks. But it is what it is, I guess. So let's get to some news. I guess that's what we're here for.
Oh,
Right?
really? Do we have to?
Can't we just talk about our hair
Yeah. Let's talk about our hair
I
all
guess
day.
we could.
like we're on The View? you know what I mean?
Impromptu banter sode number 2.
Sad day or scam? What to watch at impeachment hearing?
Yeah, so the only thing I've heard about this, I'm not watching it because I know if anything actually interesting happens, that it'll be people will come to me with it and be like, "Hey, you see
You
the
never
crazy
believe
shit.
what happened.
Yeah, it was wild."
I got up this morning. I was kind of sitting out on my porch and I was scrolling through YouTube and saw that it was live. So I tuned in for about 30 minutes, maybe 45 minutes at the top end, and it made me feel like going back to sleep. It made me feel like going back to bed. It didn't help.
That's a normal reaction. To see
It was
shit like this.
very dry and very contested by both sides, and very lengthy, and very prone to going back over the same sentences or the same concepts over and over and over again. It's not a good look. Like,
Let's take a quick little look at some of what this article says here. So, a solemn day or a show trial. Americans and the world can decide for themselves as House Democrats let the public in to the impeachment proceedings against
I did see
President
there was
Donald Trump.
there was a big blubbergumptious drag queen
Oh, cool.
that got into this impeachment. She walked right in.
House Intelligence Committee. What were they supposed? What'd you think was going to happen? Like, no drag queens allowed.
That's exactly
Out.
the point.
No, dude,
That's
I'm
great.
glad for that, man.
House Intelligence Committee Chairman Adam Schiff opened the first hearings Wednesday into Trump's pressure on Ukraine to investigate Democratic rival Joe Biden's family. Must we simply get over it? Schiff asked in the hearing's first moments.
Just get over it.
Other big questions loom, including how strongly officials connected what Trump called the favor to U.S. military aid for Ukraine. Impeachable offenses worthy of Trump's removal? And critically, will a parade of diplomats and their accounts nudge more Americans behind formally charging Trump in the shadow of the 2020 election?
It won't happen. It won't happen.
Here's
this
what-
is bullshit.
I heard something that
Uh-huh.
kind of raised my eyebrow about the whole, like, they need 20 Republicans in the Senate, right?
Right.
I was reading about this, and I don't know exactly what the rule is, but there's a rule in the Senate that allows for voting to happen in secret. So it would only take 3 Republicans to invoke that rule in the Senate. It's never been done in an impeachment trial, but it's a standing rule in the Senate that does not exclude impeachment.
Sure.
If they are able to get that anonymous kind of secret ballot voting thing passed, a lot of these people who are making these political decisions might vote a different way, and that might be a path to the 20 votes in the Senate.
I mean, I think that's possible, but do I think it's likely? I don't think so. I think most people who have run as Republicans recently have tied themselves to Trump in a big way. And I think that people who voted for them, if they say, oh, now it's in secret, we've agreed to do it in secret, and now Trump's been overwhelmingly impeached, that's going to, I mean, look, it's just giving the Democrats pretty much political power in Washington for at least another 2 to 4 years.
But you got to keep in mind what they're getting for it, though. A lot of these people might feel that Donald Trump's buffoonery is an albatross around the neck of the party, but also realize how important it is for them politically to look like they line up behind him at this moment in history. If they were allowed to secretly just be like, all right, we'll get rid of him, we'll blame it on the Democrats.
Well, people are going to know that Republicans jumped sides.
Yeah, but they're not going to know who. They're not going to know. Nobody's going to admit it because it's a secret ballot.
I think it'd be pretty cool if some of the a lot of the Republicans who if that did happen in that scenario, a lot of the ones who did vote to impeach would come out and be like,
not me,
goddamn traitors in our party.
Yeah,
weed them out.
I don't know if it'll actually happen.
Probably
but it was
not.
an interesting article that I saw. I didn't know that there was a path to that, and I honestly do think that if it were invoked, that you might see way different results.
Or at least it might be close.
I don't know if
Right.
you get 20, but I think that a few Republicans, if
Probably
they
like
were,
5 or 10 at least.
If it was a secret ballot, I think you'd probably get some Republicans.
You
be
never
like,
know.
All right, let's get rid of this fuck.
You never know. People are allowed to vote their actual conscience outside of the eye of public scrutiny. I don't know.
But, at this point, I don't think anything interesting has actually happened with this impeachment thing as of yet. But who knows,
There was the one thing that I've seen people talking about is one of the ambassadors that they had testifying had an aide that was sitting next to Ambassador Gordon Sondland during a phone call that Sondland was having with Trump, who overheard Trump on the cell phone talking about the investigation, which would give Democrats access to a person who has direct firsthand knowledge, like was actually present during a conversation and heard the president in his own words asking them to ramp up pressure for Ukraine to investigate Joe Biden.
Quid pro quo, Clarice. Check this out. White House to use webcams to create live feed of border wall construction.
Wow.
Yeah.
I can't wait to
Get
watch
to
it.
watch the fail in real time.
I'll be able to
Great.
switch back and forth between the two most entertaining things in the world, the impeachment inquiry and the glacial pace of this wall going up.
Jared Kushner and other senior Trump administration officials are planning to set up web cameras to live stream construction of President Trump's border wall, going against objections from the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers and senior U.S. Customs and Border Protection officials, according to 4 people familiar with the White House proposal. There will be a wall cam, and it'll launch next year.
Okay, so the government's doing this, so this can be like a $5 million webcam, essentially, that does nothing.
Think about the fucking kind of parody here. There is... Okay, so this is a national security project being funded by national security dollars.
Yes.
This would be like, we're building a brand new type of nuclear bomb, and I'm gonna have Jared Kushner put a webcam in there and show everybody all the little pieces of it. And, like, they're just basically showing what the structure of this wall is, how it's built, and giving intel on how to best circumvent this wall.
Probably one of the reasons why the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers and even Border Patrol is like,
I can guarantee you that's exactly the reason. Not only that, but it's letting people who would want to circumvent their way into the country know where their fucking troops are concentrated, know what areas of fucking Mexico to avoid. You know what I mean?
Beyond
It
that,
just seems like
we know the wall is going to be ineffectual to begin with. I mean, like, I don't.
We've already read stories of people
I don't
cutting
even
through
get,
this
I don't
fucking
even
wall.
get why anyone would even
We
care.
already know that they've barely built any of it. It's like 1,000 years behind schedule at this point. It's
never
being
going
built at
to
a
be
glacial
finished.
pace. If anything, all this webcam would do is highlight how little is actually being done on the fucking wall to begin with.
It doesn't matter.
As
like,
most people would I mean, like, think about in your hometown when you drive past the fucking road workers and, there's all the traffic cones set up and then you drive by and then you don't see anyone doing anything. You see, like, 3 dudes standing around
That's the
talking
wall.
to each other, and you get pissed. Like, God damn it, all this traffic and bullshit so 3 dudes could stand around talking to one another. Everybody who supports the wall is going to feel that way once this wall webcam goes live and they sit there and watch fucking 3 dudes stand next to each other
We've
while
said
a
it, though.
wall is fucking...
TJ, TJ, we've said it, though.
Yeah.
Unless they're going to build the dome. I'm like, look, I'm fine with the dome. If you want to do the dome, let's do the dome. If you really
Build the dome.
But you know what? I am not in fucking favor of the wall because it's not going to work. If you want to do the dome, 360-degree protection, no way in, or like just one way in, which is the legal way, and no ways out. There you go. I'm fine with that.
Dude,
unless you have that technology that you're willing to show me that can be like precise and have a humanitarian solution, then no.
Think about the potential risk, like security risk, to the people that are not only working on this wall but overseeing, like the Border Patrol agents that are going to be present, the comings and goings of officials and what cars they're in. Mexico is filled with drug lords who like to do assassination hits on people that oppose them. And you're going to be showing where these officials are, where these higher-ranking officers are at all times. Are you going to blur their faces and license plates and makes and models of their vehicles that they transport around in? Like, that, no wonder everybody's opposed to this. It's a retarded move.
Ann Coulter gives up. DACA kids can stay. Trump must go. Conservative pundit and apparent former big-time Donald Trump supporter Ann Coulter has finally had enough, she says, of his policies not meeting expectations. I give up, she said Tuesday after Trump tweeted about
Fuck you, bitch.
Dude, I don't even know how she
Coulter
can say
has
this.
increasingly agitated about Trump's seeming lack of commitment to the hard line on immigration and has expressed her frustrations publicly on several recent occasions.
She wrote this big book a few years ago about how there's actually like 50 bajillion immigrants in America that are just hiding in the shadows. And now the president is like, I'm going to build the wall. And now she's saying she's against that?
You know what, dude? I have so much disrespect for people that try and pull this fucking ripcord without taking any fucking... I give up. Like you were fucking valiantly struggling to do something. No, you were sucking the dick of a retard. And now you want to like spit it out and go like, I'm done. I'm done doing this service to the world. Fuck you. All you did was trumpet this motherfucker's talking points for fucking years. And now you just want to pull the social media ripcord. Oh, I'm done struggling. I give up. It's been such a hard road for Ann Coulter, juggling Donald Trump's balls in her mouth day in and day out. Patooey. Fuck you, bitch. You suck. And your opinions suck. And you're wrong about everything that you spew.
Much of Twitter reacted negatively to Trump's tweet, focusing
It's like an NPR.
on his characterization of some
I love that,
DACA
like,
participants.
That
as hardened
motherfucking
criminals.
bitch, fuck her! She don't know shit! And much of Twitter reacted negatively.
That's why people love
Trump's
this show.
tweet focusing on
However, and obviously, in Coulter's case, the objection is to his saying a deal will be cut for them to remain in the country. So Trump's not hardcore enough for her is the real problem here.
Right.
She's not mad because Trump's a retard. She's mad because he's not enough of a retard.
Right. It's
like,
gotten to the point...
This dick ain't retarded enough for me to suck no more.
Well, that's just what she's saying. But you know exactly what this is. This is her choosing a time to pull the ripcord on this so that she can bury all the fucking support of him in the past and look like she was against him for most of his presidency.
turned on him before everyone else did.
It's just like, fuck you, you stupid fucking conniving bitch.
Because you know what the next book is? It's like, why I supported Trump and no longer. Ann Coulter.
Of course.
Buy my book. Buy my book. Come on.
No, of course.
It's a carefully crafted maneuver to position her so she can write a book in 2 years about if Trump, especially if Trump is not reelected, what a disaster for his presidency. And halfway through, she realized he wasn't the conservative.
She's
they
got
needed.
her fucking finger up in the air, and she's decided that, with a lot of people, I think, that the way the wind is blowing is that history is not going to kindly remember Donald Trump.
More than likely not.
So now all of her fucking vehement support and defense of him goes out the window in favor of a more favorable fucking social position. This bitch is a snake.
100%.
Fuck you, Ann Coulter. Crawl back into the fucking damp cave from which you were birthed.
We went from like the baby reptile to like the mama reptile.
Sorry. Clinton says she is being urged by many people to run in 2020.
Triple many? Well, she better do it.
When
then.
I saw-
Many.
When I saw this in
Look, if it was many, I'd be like, Hillary, I don't think so. If it was many, I'd be like,
TJ.
But many. All right, Hillary,
You better do it then.
you better throw your hat in the fucking ring, bitch.
Yeah, I saw this on Twitter, and I involuntarily shuddered. Not even like a joke, like, I was just like, oh, what the hell's Hillary again?
So really, like, you literally read this. So you're saying that literally, not jokingly,
Yes.
you read this and you were just like,
I was like, do not want, please do not let this happen.
God, no.
I mean, dude, if I had a choice between a pile of dog shit and Hillary Clinton, I'm going with the pile of dog shit.
Hillary Clinton on Tuesday declined to rule out launching a future presidential campaign after her 2 failed bids, saying many, many, many people were pressuring her to enter the race.
It's like saying you have a buddy of mine.
How long does she have before it's too late to fucking enter this? I mean, like, how long do we have to worry about this fucking shit? Because I don't want this. But, I mean,
That's funny, TJ.
like, at what point can she no longer hang this over America's
When
head?
she croaks.
No, I mean, like, in this election. Like, when is it too late for her to announce anymore?
When she's dead.
She's not going to.
She'll wait. Like, right now, I think it's smart for her to be taking this tact. Because involving herself in this sham fucking debate thing that's going on in this overpopulated fucking field, this makes no sense right now. She's going to wait till it gets narrowed down, probably to Bernie Sanders and a couple of weak candidates flanking him, and then she's going to jump in there. And pull her strings in the DNC to fucking rig the shit again. Like, when did you think Clinton was going away? That's what I want to know.
I'm just asking, like, at what point in this particular election cycle is it too late for her to even announce anymore? Like, there has to be a cutoff
Yeah,
date.
there
Yeah, I'm
is.
sure there is. Like, she's got to participate in the primaries.
None of these
and shit.
articles fucking. I mean, like, obviously.
I don't think Hillary's
So the
running.
first, the Iowa election's being held in
January?
February, I think,
February?
or something like that.
It's got some time.
So I mean, like, I don't know how long before that you have to announce to be on the ballot. But if she,
Pretty soon.
I mean, I got to imagine it's got to be soon. So like this, like Hillary, quit fucking with us, man.
I don't
If you're
think
gonna
she's
do this, do it.
I think she's going to do it. I got a feeling down deep in my soul.
Dude, you know how I know that Hillary Clinton's going to run?
How?
Because she still draws breath.
That's my point.
She is, because she wants to be president more than anyone has ever wanted anything
It's
in
not
history.
It's not even a want anymore. She feels that she has been denied her rightful ascendancy to the presidency. That's even stronger. I'm gonna be is way stronger than I am and was usurped. That's how she feels. She feels like this was her fucking destiny and it was yanked from her, and now she's gonna get it.
She spent, and basically her donors and her like fucking corporate connections spent $320 million more dollars than the Donald Trump's campaign did. The money he raised. So it's like she outraised Trump, she outspent Trump, she did everything that, and most polls predicted she would win. Everything was going to go her way, and then it didn't. I mean, it's definitely an aberration. But I mean, she didn't beat Trump last time. I don't think there's any reason to believe she'd beat Trump this time, even with all the baggage. It's like Hillary comes with such baggage as a candidate that she's such a terrible fucking choice for the Democrats. Pretty much the worst one, maybe besides Joe Biden.
Yeah, because at least she can get through a sentence sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think that she could still, like, I've seen her talk. She still seems pretty fucking sharp, whatever I think about her aside. Like,
All right, so here's let me read a little further what she had to say.
Sure.
As I say, never, never, never say never. She really likes this word repetition lately. Maybe she is losing
never,
it.
never,
She's
never,
picking it
never,
up from
never,
Trump.
never.
Oh my God.
Yep.
Ugh.
She's taking Trump's like
Paul, I hate when you have insights like that, dude.
Yep.
Ugh.
I feel dirty now. Fuck you, Paul.
You're right. Fuck me. All right. The former Secretary of State said on BBC Radio 5 Live, I will certainly tell you, I'm under enormous pressure from many, many, many people to think about it.
Yep.
But as of this moment, sitting here in this studio talking to you, that is absolutely not in my plans.
Okay.
Absolutely not.
Not me.
Lion bitch.
Yeah, I wonder if I wonder if there's an exploratory committee out there right now
I think
taking
we
a look at the fucking landscape
I'm
of this
pretty
shit.
sure, and this was a long time ago, that we covered a story that she started an exploratory committee.
She probably started
did,
it way
yeah.
before people were even paying attention to this election.
I might be
so
wrong
that-
about that, but I distinctly
No, I
remember
remember-
us covering a story. It was months and months
I
and months
remember
ago.
that as well. Yeah.
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 She'd quietly started an exploratory, so it's already there.
Yeah, all right. Well, fuck us. Pete Buttigieg tops poll in Iowa for first time.
God,
Booty Judge boys, woo!
what the fuck is this, dude?
He's a contender.
I don't want milk toast,
Booty
dude.
Judge, Booty Judge. No, he's my new Delaney. I've given up on Delaney, and now I'm a Booty
If
Judge.
you want
boy.
booty judge, you must be out of your fucking
Booty
mind.
Judge, I'm out of my fucking mind.
You are, dude.
I'm crazy. I'm a lunatic, man. I want Booty Judge.
Bring the shit stain back.
Another corporate fucking DNC propped up candidate.
Shut
dude.
up, Scotty.
That's what we need. Who better to
He's
understand
gay, Scotty.
this complex business world
Scotty,
than a
listen to
guy?
me.
All right, so he's a gay sellout.
Listen,
That's great.
hold on, Scotty.
That's great.
Are you some kind of homophobe, Scotty?
Yeah.
Pete Buttigieg likes dicks in his ass.
Good
Yes,
for
he
him.
does.
I don't care.
He needs
about
to be our
that.
next president, Scotty.
That's not a good reason to be president.
We need a first man, Scotty.
When have we last had a fucking first man? And
Uh,
when have we last had a president that was getting horse piped?
I think what was that one? There was one president. God, who was that president who was gay, or it's widely believed to be gay?
There was never a gay president.
Yeah, there was.
There's never been no gay president.
Was it
Scotty.
James Buchanan or something? You
No.
God damn, I have to look up.
There ain't been no damn
I'm
gay
up a
president.
gay president right now.
There
dude.
ain't been no damn gay
Whatever
president,
you-
boy.
Whatever you find will be fake news.
Oh, will it?
Fake news.
I mean, except Lincoln, he was obviously gay. But
Well, I mean,
Pete Buttigieg has joined former Vice President Joe Biden, Massachusetts Senator Elizabeth Warren, and Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders as a top candidate in Iowa. A Monmouth University poll released Tuesday shows at 22%. The mayor of South Bend, Indiana, received the most popular support in a survey of those likely to attend the state's February 3rd Democratic caucuses.
Jesus.
He is followed by Mr. Biden at 19%.
Did you say
Miss Warren at
caucuses, TJ?
18%, and Mr. Sanders at 13%. The
TJ.
survey, which has a margin of error of 4.6 percentage
TJ.
points, what is it, Skittle?
Did you say caucuses?
Caucuses.
Whoa.
He's going to suck the caucus.
Buttigieg is winning the caucus.
He's like, oh, yeah, give me that big caucus.
I have the biggest caucus of all.
Caucus.
All right, the survey, which has a margin of error of 4.6 percentage points and blah, blah, whatever, he's leading in fucking Iowa. That's the point.
Well, one poll says that.
One poll says Pete Buttigieg. I mean, he's obviously doing well in Iowa if any poll has him in
Pete.
one.
I mean, yeah, I see a lot of supporters. It's not like they're Delaney acts with the fake supporters or actually Bernie supporters behind him.
What are you
And there's
talking
real
about? The
support.
Delaney
Yeah,
acts?
those signs say Pete, Pete, Pete. So they're
I
obviously
hope that he
supporters.
chooses Delaney as his fucking running mate.
Oh my
dude.
God, that would be my dream.
I hope that they fuck on national TV too.
My dream is Booty Judge Delaney or Yang Delaney.
Nah,
Yang
dude.
Delaney.
Yep.
Buttigieg and Kamala Harris, dude.
I think Yang should change his name to Wang.
That's what I think it'd
dude.
be.
Wang.
Yeah, Andrew Wang.
Why?
Wang
Because
gang.
Wang Buttigieg, dude.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would actually be cool.
Kamala Harris polling at 1% in New Hampshire.
Good job.
Cop Mala, dude. What was that name? Someone came up with a name for her the other day on accident. It was you, wasn't it? What was it? Crimala, dude.
Kramala.
Kamala.
I'm gonna change it to Criminala.
Criminala.
Anyway, she's polling at 1 fucking percent in New Hampshire right now. Latest Quinnipiac poll of New Hampshire shows Joe Biden with a narrow lead in a close four-way race. He's got 20, Warren's got 16, Buttigieg 15, Sanders 14. The Real Clear Politics average of New Hampshire polls similarly shows a tight race. Biden and Warren are tied at 19.7%. Sanders is at 19%. Buttigieg is at 11.3%.
See, that's what I'm saying. Like, look at that disparity between those two polls.
Right.
One poll has it like Buttigieg is beating Sanders, and another poll is Sanders is up.
Well, it's because different polls find different ways of sampling voters, and a lot of these polls that show Biden in the lead constantly are
Dude, let me tell you
skewing
something.
way old.
When I see the fucking Iowa results, that's when I'll say, okay, there's a clear indicator who's actually doing well in this race.
Right.
Because that happened with Obama. Like, before it was like, Hillary's going to run away with things. And then, like, Obama, did really well in Iowa. Oh, shit, Obama's doing really well all across the country.
Yeah, a lot of times you don't really know until the votes start happening.
I mean, how does this kind of feel as because Bernie and all of these numbers we've looked at in the last couple of stories is kind of just.
Middling.
I mean, he's not doing horribly. He's on the board, but
Yeah. Well, a lot of these things too. The media kind of doesn't like reporting polls where he's doing better than that because there are some out there. But like I said, a lot of these polls skew way old. And look, if it's your typical Democratic turnout for this shit, then those polls will probably be accurate. If Bernie Sanders does his job of actually energizing the youth vote and getting them out to the fucking polling places, then these numbers are going to be wildly inaccurate. So it just depends on if he can actually get, people in their fucking 20s and 30s to actually show up to polling places or not. which a lot of fucking politicians over the years have said, I can do it, I can do it.
I mean, isn't that kind of like the
Is
political
he the one
dream?
is he the one that can actually fucking do it?
Well,
if not, he's not going to win. If he
with-
can, then he has a chance.
I think the millennials became, the last few years, the largest generation by population. So if he can deliver the youth vote, then yeah, he would pretty much win.
If those millennials will actually show up to the voting booths, then yeah, he has a chance.
Isn't like the youth vote kind of like the ongoing kind of like joke about like, oh, the youth are going to come out and vote finally?
It's like unobtainium from Avatar. Or
I mean,
some
if you
shit.
could get it, then yeah, you probably win. But no one's gotten it so far. So
who are you gonna vote for, man? You realize the election was 6 weeks ago, Travis. Oh shit,
That's what I'm saying.
Whoops. Next year, I guess. I'll do it next time. I was totally gonna vote, but I was baked.
Anyway, Disney Plus surpasses 10 million signups since launch.
wow.
Suckers.
Disney Plus has already surpassed 10 million signups since launch. Disney announced Wednesday. Disney's new streaming service launches Tuesday with some technical difficulties. For comparison, Disney-owned Hulu claimed more than 28 million subscribers in May, and Netflix claimed more than 60 million paid domestic members and over 97 million international in its third quarter of 2019.
Damn. So Disney's already like with Hulu is on the heels of Netflix.
Disney's new streaming service, Disney Plus, has already seen 10 million signups since launching Tuesday. The company announced Wednesday. Disney stock was up more than 3%.
Don't you have something to disclose?
Full disclosure, I do have Disney stock. Netflix shares were down by more than 1%. Disney's new streaming service launched Tuesday with some technical errors that prevented some users from connecting with the service, but that didn't stop paying customers from flooding the sign-up page at $6.99 per month or $69.99 per year. Disney Plus is significantly cheaper than competitors such as Netflix, which charges $12.99 for its most popular standard HD plan.
It's got significantly less content on it, too.
Than Netflix? Yes, at this point it does.
I'll tell you what, though, with it being $6.99 a month, and if they fucking run this business right and absorb a lot of people over from Netflix, or at least get seen as a viable competitor, with having 10 million the first day, I mean, that kind of shows you that they're on the path for success.
Yeah, obviously, I don't know if it's happened as of yet, but I know a lot of Disney's properties that were streaming on some of these other services are either already have disappeared from them or are going to be disappearing from them very shortly.
I've heard positive reviews of The Mandalorian as well from a number of.
I haven't taken a look at it yet, but
I'm not cock teasing myself. I'll get this Disney Plus shit a few months down the road when they got a season or two of this Mandalorian shit.
Yeah, there's going to be 8 episodes. I think that they're going to wrap up their run of that in December, and a lot of people are mad because obviously we live in the age of binge watching. So it's like, fuck, what, you want me to actually wait for this shit?
Yeah, it's bullshit. They should have just released the whole fucking series.
Yeah.
They do that with Hulu a lot, too, though. So, I mean, it's a different strategy.
Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like this, like, be invested for weeks at a time shit. Just give me it all.
I don't do it.
I
don't go down that road.
I want to blow my whole load in one fucking
Well, you know
go.
why that is. They want to keep people signed up.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'm not as much of a binge dude, but I like to watch when I want to watch. I don't want to be like, oh, I got to wait till fucking next Wednesday to see the next one of these. Great.
Yeah, it's bullshit.
So fuck Disney Plus till they start getting some of their own shit together. Till they got more than the Disney library to pull me over there.
I think I might wait for The Mandalorian too. I don't know. I might check it out. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. Disney Plus slaps content warning for outdated cultural depictions on classic animated movies.
Man, I've been waiting for this to happen. It's such an injustice that this wasn't done years ago.
So here's some of the movies they've done it on. Disney's new streaming service warns fans that they may encounter outdated cultural depictions while watching some of its older content. After its launch on Tuesday, Disney Plus users noticed that some of the company's classic content, such as Dumbo, the Aristocats, The Jungle Book, and the original Lady and the Tramp, all contain a warning at the end of their respective descriptions. These warnings caution sensitive fans that what they're about to watch contains racial portrayals that may be triggering. This program is presented as originally created. The warning at the end of each description reads, it may contain outdated cultural depictions.
So, dude, how long until they just reanimate and make it, like, culturally appropriate? How long until that
Some of
happens?
these movies
or
really...
Or just edit it out.
You can't really do that with some of these movies. It'd be especially hard with Dumbo. Because a lot of the moments that are contain, sensitive, whatever the fuck, cultural depictions are pretty crucial to the fucking storyline.
Yeah, just reanimate them, man. That's fine.
Yeah.
They're already doing that. They're making CGI versions of all these movies with none of that shit in them. You know?
Yep.
So they're
As they
quietly
should.
doing it.
As IGN notes, Dumbo has been criticized in the past for depicting it was more than two wisecracking crows, by the way, that speak in stereotypical African-American voices played by a white actor. The Jungle Book suffers from the same issue with some of its characters, particularly a group of monkeys being portrayed as negative, dated African-American characteristics. Meanwhile, Lady and the Tramp features the infamous We Are Siamese song performed by two cats speaking in stereotypical Asian accents.
Oh, no!
Drawn with large buck teeth. Oh, my fucking God.
The humanity.
The end of the world as we know it, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, I'm just glad that Disney is warning people.
Sensitive viewers.
Because I'm not going to watch any of that stuff now. Now
Yeah,
that I
the
know.
minute-
Now that I know.
The minute you see that, you go, oh!
I'm a sensitive guy. I
These
can't.
are some outdated cultural depictions.
Outdated cultural depiction,
I
baby.
can't watch.
Can we put Song on the South on there then? Which, as long as you give them that warning.
I don't think that's ever going to be on Disney Plus.
Some of
dude.
those old, Mickey versus the Nips or whatever.
Zippity day.
What about those old war cartoons and shit, dude?
Shoot down some Japs.
Yeah, let's get them.
Yeah, all right, let's do it. Woman's eye bursts after using her mobile phone too much, doctors say.
Jesus.
A blood vessel in the woman's retina exploded after a long session on her phone in China, causing temporary blindness. A woman who was addicted to her smartphone temporarily blinded herself by overusing it, causing her eye to burst. Doctors managed to save the female patient's vision after her phone addiction left her blind in one eye because a blood vessel in her retina had burst from excessive strain. The unnamed patient from Shenzhen, a major port city, Guangdong, China, took herself to a hospital after being unable to use her left eye.
Yeah.
What the fuck, dude?
Nothing wrong here.
You strain your eye so much that you literally burst it. Okay, man. Maybe this phone shit's getting a little carried away.
No, dude. It just your eye explodes. I mean, come on. Whatever.
I mean, imagine the incredible pain.
Does she still have another eye?
Yeah,
Well,
and you know what? This just
She has
goes
the
to
right
show-
eye.
look,
That's why she's got two. There's a backup.
look, some people out there have weak eyes. Weak eyes.
That's right.
Ah, dude.
These phones are helping to
Evol-
weed out the weak among us.
You know what, TJ? Evolution. You're right, man.
Right. Like, whatever happened to fucking letting Darwinism take its course? If your eyes aren't strong enough to use the phone, then obviously you shouldn't be. You shouldn't have the capability to see.
You're a dead end.
You got no place in the future.
You know, you're a fucking useless person. No, you shouldn't see and you shouldn't breed. Survival of the fittest, bitch.
Yeah, I want my cybernetic eyes where I'm like, doot, doot. Never have eye strain. Never tired.
Yeah, man.
I wonder what it would take, for people to be concerned about how much phone time we're all spending.
Yeah, I don't know. Let me check my phone. Let me search that. You want to do a
Yeah,
search?
yeah.
That?
Let's do a search on that. Let's all look at our phones.
Yeah, 1 second, Paul. What were you talking about?
Check
Look
I don't
on the
know.
phone
I
and
can't
see
remember.
what's what. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't think there is a point.
Woman's face melts off after she spends 3 days looking at her phone.
That's crazy.
Whatever.
Wacky. I'm gonna have to make my cutoff 2.5.
Exactly. That's all people would. Dude, people are just so fucking stupid about this shit. No, it's fine. It just like what else can you even fucking say?
Minnesota school threw out hot meals of students with over $15 lunch debt, then apologized. There's a video here, I think.
Fucking bum! You don't want to think about your fucking lunch? It's in the
Prescription
fucking
eyewear is
trash.
Really expensive.
Yeah.
27 seconds
I
worth
ain't
of
watching
fucking.
that.
Fuck.
Oh,
Oh, wait.
yeah.
Actually, I am. I'm
It's
going.
Warby Parker.
Yeah,
I'm
you
going to the fucking ad here.
Isn't that great?
Is there a way to turn off the volume of the fucking thing?
Probably.
Well, I
not.
could turn it off for the audience at least, and we could talk through it.
That's fine.
So I guess let's do that.
Let's fucking do it. Just put us on the screen while it plays through.
Yeah, all right. So anyway,
it's hard to do this.
let's not think about the ad that's playing behind
Here's a
us.
secret, guys. Warby Parker is amazing.
How you guys been doing, everybody?
I've been fucking.
All right, so
thinking-
we can't act like we're not hearing this
Dude,
ad.
I just love. I love that we saw a thing about eye strain, and then we can push an ad.
You could try
We
5
get an
days
ad for
free.
Warby
It's almost
Parker.
over. Here we go.
WarbyParker.com.
Yeah, that's great. Thanks, Warby Parker, you piece
A
of shit.
humiliating mistake
Yes,
happened
now you gotta
over
turn it
and
back on
over
for them.
yesterday
I did.
at Richfield High School. And the admittance of it
is coming from the top.
This is great.
As students were
Throw that fucking
proceeding
food
through
away.
the line, if they had a balance of negative $15 or more, their hot lunch was replaced with an alternative lunch, and they also received the district policy.
They were humiliated.
Yes.
And that's exactly the opposite of the intention of our work. None of that.
Lie! Fuck you! Fuck you! Now the media comes in and that's not what we meant. Oh, well, okay. So like they're at the end of the line, and you literally take the food from them and drop like a shitty sandwich in its place. You're like, there you go.
No food for
Why-
you.
why-
We would rather put those meals in the garbage than give them to you.
Why are we charging people for these lunches anyways? They're fucking students. They're not. If they're
And the
not
whole
expected to
idea
have a
is
job.
like, hey, we're wasting. The student owes us money, so let's take a perfectly good lunch and throw it in the garbage because that's not a waste of money
Because
at
the
all.
money in the budget that would go towards feeding every student a hot fucking lunch every goddamn day would have to come out of their paychecks. It would have to come. They would have to make room in the budget elsewhere for it. And the most obvious answer to that is cutting administrative costs at the top and not paying your fucking superintendent $600,000 a
fuck
year.
that, dude. It's way more important that those kids. And a lot of people, especially talking about lower income people, that's the only meal they fucking get. Like, and they get the school breakfast and school lunch. That's why a lot of people are a lot of kids are totally dependent on that. And now you have this fucking system that's punishing them for being poor. Like, oh, I'm sorry, you have a balance. Well, it might just be a forgetful kid, and their parents might have money, but also might be someone that has no money, and this is the only meal they're gonna get.
And there's a profound amount of waste at the top end of fucking the education system, and that's where this money could easily come from. Easily enough money being wasted with, like, do you know in most fucking we're talking public school systems.
Sure.
The superintendents have vehicle allowances.
What?
So nobody else in the school district gets a vehicle allowance unless they're actually driving their own car for company business. But
you know what? You know who does
they
do that?
pay his
That's-
car bill.
That's a lie. That's a lie, Paul. Them kids get vehicle allowance too.
Yeah,
school
on the
bus.
buses. That's right.
School bus, Paul.
Well, he drives an Escalade, not a school bus. You
Yeah,
know what I
A
mean?
little bit nicer.
I mean, if you think about it, an Escalade and a school bus, basically like a little, you make the Escalade a little taller, make it a little longer, give it shittier seats and less features. Bam, it's a fucking school bus.
The school district underwrites massive amounts of unnecessary travel for these people at the top end too. To go to professional development, they call it, quote unquote, things. They're basically just parties in San Francisco and LA and shit that they all get to go to. And if they do
they're
receive,
learning.
especially at the superintendent level, if they do receive training at these, it's likely going to be used in another school district because somebody will poach them away from this. It's ridiculous. The amount of fucking money that is wasted at the top bloated end of the administrative level. And it could easily feed every kid in this fucking district.
I have no doubt.
Lies. Government must have reasonable suspicion of digital contraband before searching electronic devices at the U.S. border.
Country's done, guys. Country is fucking done.
In a major victory for privacy rights, you don't hear that often, a federal court in Boston today ruled that the government's suspicionless searches of international travelers' smartphones and laptops at airports and other U.S. ports of entry violate the Fourth Amendment. The ruling came in a lawsuit, Al-Assad versus Michelin, filed by the American Civil Liberties Union, Electronic Frontier Foundation, and ACLU of Massachusetts on behalf of 11 travelers whose smartphones and laptops were searched without individualized suspicion at U.S. ports of entry. This ruling significantly advances the Fourth Amendment protections for millions of international travelers who enter the United States every year, said Isha Bandari, staff attorney with ACLU's Speech, Privacy, and Technology Project. By putting an end to the government's ability to conduct suspicionless fishing expeditions, the court reaffirms that the border is not a lawless place and that we don't lose our rights when we travel.
Terrorists are gonna win, guys.
Yeah, I mean, like, what about, you obviously don't want to stop the terrorists from killing us.
Yeah.
It's like,
If
I don't
you-
feel safe in this country
if I
with this
can't-
kind of ruling happening.
If our country doesn't have the right to go through everyone's phone anytime they cross the border, we're not safe anymore.
Yeah, I'm like, I mean, it doesn't really matter because it's like the second they cross into this country, multinational corporations can look at all their fucking phone
that's what
data
I'm saying.
anyway. And
Like,
then,
I hate to burst the bubble of people who are
The
crowing
government
about
can
this.
just be like,
They're
hey, here, we'll just take it from those companies. I'm
They're
sure they'll
not
give
going
it
to
to
stop.
us.
They're not going to
Exactly.
stop doing this. It's built into these operating systems, their ability to do these fucking things, and they're going to continue doing it.
And they're going to find a loophole. Like, obviously, this will probably go to the Supreme Court, and let's even say they're like, nope, we agree with the lower court. All that's going to happen then, like you said, then they'll just go to AT&T and Verizon, all the major carriers, and get the information that way.
You know what will happen? They'll just be like, oh, well, we can't search it unless we have reasonable suspicion,
we have
so we'll
suspicion.
lower the standard for what a suspicion is.
The
And-
reason that this is toothless is because it's backed by nothing. There's no
Federal laws.
marrying of your rights to privacy with your rights to your metadata. Anywhere in the law, your rights to own that and to decide who it's sent to. So it's toothless. It's absolutely fucking toothless.
Without those protections in place, you're right. It's like, oh, okay, so it's protecting us in one small area that could so easily be circumvented.
Will be circumvented.
It can and it will.
Well, it is
And it
being
will and it
circumvented.
can.
I mean, like, who even knows that the government will even respect this ruling anyways?
So
Why would they?
I don't know. We haven't really covered the lead up to this, so I should probably explain something a little bit.
Yeah, this is big news around these parts here.
Around here,
Around here in these parts, if you live around here, you already know what we're talking about.
you
But
know
if
what's
don't-
going on. So it was by happenstance. I was out to eat breakfast one day, and I mentioned that because I don't have like local TV or see what happens on local TV. But I happened to be somewhere where there was local TV, and I saw that a part of this Hard Rock hotel that was under construction.
In the French Quarter.
Yeah, in the French Quarter had, or near the French Quarter. I don't think it's quite in it.
It's in the French Quarter.
Whatever. Okay, so anyway, part of the building fucking just collapsed out of
Well,
nowhere.
it was
Suddenly.
actually a crane. It wasn't the building that collapsed. There were two. You see the crane here. These two building cranes. One of them collapsed and smashed into the building and destroyed a big piece of it.
I think originally it was a partial building
No,
collapse.
the building partially collapsed. What you're talking about is the city,
crane was the second thing.
The
that
city
happened.
then, because it was hanging precariously due to the collapse, they had to basically
Right, so-
destroy them. So they basically imploded two
part
cranes.
so part of the building collapsed while it was under construction, and then there was a threat from these two cranes that were on top of the building that were like
Leaning
precariously
over.
hanging down. So then the city is like, all right, we're gonna demo those cranes.
Yeah, we're gonna explode those. And
So one it worked.
So for one of the cranes, it fell down. It didn't fall like it was supposed to, but at least it fell down. The other one, as you can see, is like literally just hanging there.
yeah, it fell into the building and just wrapped itself around it, basically.
There's nothing actually. You can see it in the top picture. There's nothing actually holding that crane up anymore. Like it's not attached anywhere. It's just literally hanging on top of the building. So that happened, and now the city is saying they're going to. Oh, and by the way, part of that crane is like hanging over a street, or at least it was. I don't know. Maybe they fixed that. But now the city's saying they're going to destroy the whole building. It's going to be they're going to wait 9 weeks to blow it up, and then it's going to take 3 months to clean up the fucking rubble from the
What
thing.
a fucking disaster, dude.
And the thing is that knowing how well, like based on how well the last demolition went, you could pretty much expect this to be completely fucked.
I mean, this is a failure at every level.
It's going-
Something was
like-
clearly done wrong if it collapsed while being built. So there was malfeasance there. Then every effort to clean this up has just made it worse and more precarious. So
So I can't wait for like 3 city blocks to be destroyed in
Yeah.
this
Well, people-
controlled quote unquote demolition
When,
they're gonna do.
When Galen was at your Halloween party, TJ, he was telling me that there's actually a federal indictment of people in the planning office in the city of New Orleans, the people that did the permits.
Yeah, I'm
So
not surprised.
I mean, no shock here that they basically probably rubber stamped plans that were not
All right,
structurally
so
sound.
I can tell you probably right now. I mean, I don't know for sure what happened, but this fucking giant hotel was basically built on top of some old building that was already there.
yeah,
So I guarantee you that someone went and looked at the old building and was like, I don't know if this is any good. And someone else is like, here's a bunch of money. And they're like, oh, yeah, it's great. It's going to work fine. It's going to be totally awesome. But I don't know. This is probably something we'll be hearing about for quite a while.
Now it looks like a fucking Dolly painting. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Just a melting building in the background.
So here's a picture of the demolition that they did, trying to knock these cranes down.
What a city, dude.
And you can see that crane is still hanging over there. The crane's just hanging on
What
top of
city-
the building.
Dude, what city would this happen in but New Orleans?
Oh, New Orleans.
Can't-
it's a very New Orleans occurrence here.
what a fucked up place.
Not as fucked up as this, though. More than 1,000 California police access background check database for personal use.
The state that's literally burning to the ground, California.
Shocked. On June 5th, 2013, San Francisco Police Sergeant John Haggett, what a stupid. Anyway,
Ted
was
Haggard.
working the 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. shift in a third-floor office at the city's Hall of Justice. At 11:48 that morning, someone logged into the department's secure database inside the office and used Haggett's sign-on and password to run a criminal background check on a San Francisco woman through the department's local records. Within minutes, Haggett's account was used to run a Department of Motor Vehicles check on the same woman, as well as an FBI criminal records check and another background check through the California law enforcement telecommunications system known as CLETS. Eventually, investigators found Haggett's sign-in had been used to run checks on 2 other city residents, and all 3 of them had something in common. They were tenants renting an apartment from Haggett's girlfriend, according to San Francisco Superior Court records.
This dude didn't
Shocking.
So this dude didn't want to fucking pay for like a background check service. So he's like, "Yeah, I can run them through this database."
Haggett, who spent 3 decades on the police force, was charged with a single misdemeanor count of misusing DMV computer information and retired from the department while the case was pending. He later pleaded guilty and was ordered to pay $150 in restitution.
Great. Wow. Unauthorized access to personal information. Oh, guilty. Here's a $150 fine.
Did he get away with it? Said the woman, who's one of the tenants.
Yes.
It's such a clear cut. Yes, it's such a clear cut thing. You're not allowed to do that. Haggett is more than 1,000 California law enforcement agency workers in the last decade who have been found. By the way.
Yeah. Let's
So
be
how
honest.
often is this happening?
There's
It
way
never
more
it
than
never
1,000.
hits anybody's radar, and it just happens.
Found to have misused the CLET system or other sensitive databases that are supposed to be accessed only for legitimate investigative purposes. The allegations against officers around the state runs the gamut, according to investigation from a coalition of news organizations, including McClatchy, and coordinated by the Investigative Reporting Program at UC Berkeley. A California Highway Patrol officer was accused of accessing computer files to dig up information on a romantic rival, then allegedly driving out and keying her car. A West Sacramento police officer pleaded no contest to a misdemeanor count of harassment after being charged with accessing department computers and making repeated telephone calls to harass someone at their home. And a San Jose police officer was charged in a case where prosecutors said he accessed police computers and then wrote phony traffic and parking tickets against 2 people who had been involved in a lawsuit with him over a motorcycle accident 5 years ago.
All these cases have something in common. They're blatant misuse of power, where it's just like so obvious. Like, he wrote a phony ticket.
$150 fine.
Yeah, you know, this person basically fucking keyed somebody's car. This person, they acted out in such a way that it's almost impossible to say, well, how did this happen? You know, what about the uses where someone just says, let me just take that information down? That can happen all the fucking time. And we talk about personal data, and this is the government. So, yeah, this is a database that it's only supposed to be used for legitimate purposes, and it's not.
It's not just cops doing this, by the
Oh,
way.
obviously not.
There are a startling number of public and private employees that have some kind of access to these types of databases or other databases of people's information that use them for personal gain or personal assurance or whatever it is they're doing it for, and not for what they're intended. So it's like another example of data about you being pretty much freely available to anybody that wants to use it nefariously. And you
anybody.
having absolutely, like, these people. So the dude gets charged $150. What about the people whose fucking data was accessed? What's their payout on this? What's their end of the wrong that they were done, having their whole fucking private lives displayed to a person who was trying for financial gain to circumvent costs that he could have gone about legally?
It's not to reform the system anyway. It's to basically punish the guy with a fucking slap on the wrist.
Right.
That's it.
$150. That's a night out on the town
Yeah,
for this dude
oops.
and his kids and his wife.
Hong Kong police claim university has become refuge for criminals. Riot police use tear gas, beat demonstrators, and make arrests as violent clash continues. They got bow and arrows over here, man.
Damn, dude.
Isn't it weird how violent criminals just happen to show up out of nowhere when the populace is rioting against the government?
That is weird.
Isn't it weird how they just,
It's a strange
you know,
coincidence, bro.
8, 10, 12 months ago, they probably would have been law-abiding, wonderful citizens, but then all of a sudden,
Boom.
this giant horde of criminals just kind of snuck into the country from everywhere else.
Yep. You
Yeah.
know it. You know it, bro. Police have accused a Hong Kong university of being a manufacturing base for petrol bombs and refuge for rioters and criminals. Following overnight clashes with anti-government protesters, as riot police also beat demonstrators and made arrests in the heart of the city's financial district. The city was paralyzed on Wednesday, with much of its public transport suspended and all universities closed after a night of violent clashes at the Chinese University of Hong Kong. Hundreds of protesters assembled throughout Wednesday on a bridge over a motorway on the edge of the campus and built makeshift barricades, fearing that police might return. Many were armed with petrol bombs, while some carried bows and arrows, which students earlier grabbed after they broke into the university sports center. Police had fired multiple shots and rounds of tear gas at the campus on Tuesday night and used water cannons on students who retaliated with petrol bombs and bricks.
I love how it's like how the story basically just makes it like, oh, these protesters, oh, look at all the horrible things they're doing. Dude, just go look at any of the videos online of what Hong Kong police are doing to the protesters. It's not like they're just standing by and going, hey, simmer down, guys.
They're loading up those water cannons with strong-ass dyes so that anybody that gets hit with them can be later identified by police as they walk around. They hit you with like a blue dye that it takes like a week to wear off of your skin.
You criminal!
Yeah, I mean, that's much like what you're saying here. Yeah, they beat the shit out of people, take them off the street, just to summarily just arrest them.
And like, look, the police said, look at this. 1,567 rounds of tear gas were fired at these people. And the top of the fucking article talks about petrol bombs. What are these fucking people that are opposing them armed with? Look at this shit.
Tear gas, 1,300 rubber bullets, 380 beanbag rounds.
And this is the police's
142
numbers
arrests.
of what they're using in the streets. How
Youngest person detained.
How many
14
people
years
were
old.
beaten
Oh,
with police issue batons?
so, I mean, at this point, thousands upon thousands of people.
Riot police carrying long shields and guns also confronted students who placed water-filled barricades, bricks, and umbrellas on a main street outside the Baptist University of Kowloon. The police left in late afternoon. The Chinese-ruled territory is experiencing its 6th month of protests, which were sparked by a controversial extradition bill, but have morphed into a wider pro-democracy movement. The latest unrest, which began with the citywide strikes on Monday, is expected to continue for days. Hong Kong's Education Bureau has suspended classes for all schools and universities, with primary and secondary schools sent children home late in the morning on police advice, as protesters blocked major intersections in various districts with bricks and other objects. Many metro and rail stations were closed after protesters blocked commuters and vandalized trains. Quarrels broke out between commuters, who formed long queues at bus stops. Many bus routes were also canceled as a number of roads were blocked. At the University of Hong Kong, chairs, desks, and benches were piled up around entrances and doorways across the camps in order to, in an apparent effort to stop police from entering. Graffiti messages included, "Whoever kills must compensate with their lives. Blood debts must be paid, and ideas are bulletproof," were scrawled on boards, walls, and floor across campus. Ideas are bulletproof. That's from a V for Vendetta, I think.
Damn, they're edgelords over there.
Oh, hell
Awesome,
yeah.
dude.
Dude, this is where I should be, man.
I mean, they got a fucking bow and arrows.
I should be in fucking Hong Kong, man.
Oh my God, TJ.
Yeah.
TJ,
No
you would
way.
definitely end up in a fucking
Yeah.
Chinese prison,
You'd
dude.
end up covered in blue dye, looking like a big fucking Smurf sitting in a Chinese prison somewhere.
That sounds like a fun story.
Okay.
I want to beat some fucking
I tell you
Chinese
what, TJ, I'll
cops,
go
dude.
in halfsies on your fucking ticket to get
Yeah.
into Hong Kong.
Please do.
I'll go in halfsies.
Do it.
Somebody else wants to take the other half. You can go. Just
Scotty?
take a GoPro. Send us all the footage.
Nah, dude, because I want... Dude, if I would, man, but TJ, you actually might have him a Chinese prison. I can't fucking do that to you.
I'm going to go over there and clash with the
wants it.
police, man.
He wants it, dude. He wants to end up a big Smurf in a Chinese
Dude,
prison,
TJ just end up eating some fucking Hong Kong food and going home.
Nuh-uh.
hiding in his hotel room.
This dim sum's pretty good.
I ain't going out there.
That's scary, man.
Hell no.
Bullshit. Bullshit, man. I'm going to go fight with them protesters.
You gonna pick up a bow and arrow?
I don't think they should. I don't think I need a bow and arrow. They should give me like a big club or something.
Yeah.
Like a bat.
Love this.
Something I could
I love
swing.
what a big deal was made out of people being armed with bow and arrows when the opposing force has riot shields and fucking
Yeah, weapons.
machine guns.
Yeah, they have everything they need.
Man,
tear
they're lucky.
gas.
They're lucky they ain't got Tiananmen Squared yet, man.
It's basically the fucking Chinese military versus a bunch of some ragtag fucking teenagers.
Yeah, man. They're like the rebellion versus the empire, man. But there ain't no fucking there ain't no weakness in the thermal exhaust port on that Death Star. So, violent hate crimes in U.S. reach highest levels in 16 years. FBI reports.
Nice.
Data from more than 16,000 U.S. law enforcement agencies shows surge in attacks against Latinos and transgender people. Violent hate crimes and threats have reached their highest levels in the U.S. in 16 years, with a surge in attacks against Latinos and transgender people in 2018, according to a new FBI study. The data comes from more than 16,000 law enforcement agencies. Overall, the agencies reported a slight decrease in total hate crime reports, which include crimes against property, from 7,175 incidents in 2017 to 7,120 last year.
I think the problem when you talk about this is people extrapolate, that means it's happening more. That doesn't necessarily mean it's happening more. That means that it's being reported more. And I think in the culture we live in, that's probably what the case is. Because I have a hard time imagining there's way more hate crimes now than there was a few years ago. It's possible. I'm not saying it's not, but this isn't conclusive proof of that.
The number of hate crimes against people increased from 4,090 to 4,571.
But how many people simply would not report that?
Roughly 12%.
And you might say they weren't even comfortable enough to report that. Or maybe it wasn't classified that way before.
Right, maybe.
So I don't know. I'm not saying I know for certain.
Well, Levin disagrees with you, Scotty. Brian Levin from the Center of the Study of Hate and Extremism says this is really significant. So fuck you, Scotty. You don't know what you're talking about. The more we have these derisive stereotypes broadcast into the ether, the more people are going to inhale that toxin. What now, Scotty?
Well, he's just basically making an argument against free speech, and just, of course, using it. The duck is that
hate speech is not free speech,
yeah,
Scotty.
Is that it's hate speech?
Hate speech.
It's convincing people to do reprehensible things.
Let's be real here. A 12% jump from one year to another in one particular category, especially when overall incidents are down, like that's not statistically significant.
I don't think that any of these crimes are good. I'm not saying but I mean at the same time, this doesn't prove something.
And let's be real here, like 4,090 to 4,571, like in a country of more than how many people are in this country?
329 million people.
329 million people in a year. I mean, is that really that bad? I think we're doing all right.
So minorities, we should just ignore.
I'm not saying we should ignore it,
but
ignore
crimes against
let's
minorities.
Let's
not act like
it's
they're not most racism.
Let's not act like
a piece of shit.
Let's just not act like it's a fucking plague. All right. I mean, like it is a problem, but it's not a gigantic problem at those numbers.
But isn't this at least somewhat evidence that those numbers are going in the wrong direction?
Maybe. I mean, it just depends on.
It is
we got to look at. You can't just compare 2 years. You got to look at overall trends and shit. So I don't know what the overall trend is. If
they're saying it's the highest in 16 years,
which means that it was low for a lot of that 16 years,
right?
And they said that overall hate crimes are down. It's just one category of hate crime that's up.
Which category?
Hate crimes against people. Like violent crimes, like because
right.
also includes hate crimes. Also include like someone painted a swastika or something,
Right.
So they can qualify that as a hate crime.
The most worrying
right
of the hate crimes is the one that's up, and that's not significant.
It's up 12% though. I mean it's like if there's
what if you went to the doctor? What if you went to the doctor?
Hold on. Shut up. I got a perfect analogy for you.
Okay.
So let's say today in America there's 7 hate crimes or something.
Okay.
And then tomorrow there's 14.
Okay.
I could say, oh my God, hate crime is up fucking 100% from yesterday.
Yeah, that's because
that's why you
looking
can't compare 2 data points. You can't just say it went up 12% since last year because that doesn't prove a trend.
Well, they're clearly not just using 2 data points. They
are. They said it's up. They're comparing from 2017 to 2018.
Right, but they're also comparing it against 16 years of data as well.
Right. Well, no, they're saying it's the highest it's been in 16 years.
Right, which is comparing it against the data points from all of those years.
Right. So 16 years ago it was as high as it is right now.
It's higher now than it was 16 years ago.
I mean, they didn't say that. They said
the highest levels,
the highest since 16 years.
Yeah, sure.
So I'm assuming 16 years is roughly equivalent or around the same.
Well, also, this is a number reported, so we don't know. It could be significantly more than this. It could be significantly less than this.
I mean, with any crime, you got to assume that
I would assume
not
that,
all crimes are being reported. So
yeah,
obviously,
that's what I would have to assume as well.
I mean, I don't know what percentage are reported, but it could be. A 12% jump could just mean reporting is up, too.
That's why I'm saying, like, we just don't know. I mean, but it definitely is something to be concerned about. I agree with that. It's not to say that there's nothing to this.
All right, well, I mean, like, let's break this down for a second. So if there's 4,571 hate crimes reported in, 365 days? Like, how many a day is that?
I don't know.
All right, well, I'm going to get a calculator.
Like 15 a day or something? Something like that?
All right, so hold on. Let's just figure this fucking shit out. So I got a calculator here. There it is. So, what is it? 4,571
divided by 365.
divided by 365. So that's about 12 and a half
12 a day.
hate crimes a day in a country of 325 million people, which means that, like, that's like struck by lightning fucking numbers of being the victim of a fucking hate crime.
Okay. I mean, I think it's still significant that it goes on in the country, and you don't want the numbers to be going up.
Right. I mean, of course you don't want them going up, and I'm not saying it's not a problem, but I feel like certain things, like, this is being used as part of a fucking narrative about this fucking country.
Which is what?
That's trying to tell people, like, hate crime is rampant. Be afraid. Every time you leave your house, you might be in danger of being attacked. And people fucking develop neuroses and fears and terrors, and it drives them to fucking not want to leave their houses and to fucking stare at their phone until their eyes explode and to have such bad fucking mental illness rates that, in a story we're going to be covering in a minute, millennials are scared to leave their fucking house. And I think that when you take, 12 and a half hate crimes a day in a country of 325 million people, 329 million, and you make it seem like it's an epidemic, you're just pumping fear into the populace. And you're crippling people emotionally and terrorizing them, all to fucking get clicks and to show them ads. I
mean, I can see your perspective on it. I can also see the perspective of, the victims of this shit. Because it shouldn't, the numbers shouldn't be going up.
I mean, one victim,
however statistically
one victim is
insignificant,
too many. Sure.
People shouldn't be experiencing this shit in 2019.
Right. I mean, it shouldn't be happening, period.
And
there should be zero.
especially, in my mind, because it doesn't cross lines into fucking freedom of speech category, we shouldn't be seeing an uptick in violent hate crime against people. Like, we're not talking about painting a swastika on the fucking floor, whatever,
right.
Burning a cross somewhere, whatever it is. All stupid fucking shit that you shouldn't be doing, mind you. But they fall a good deal short of fucking beating somebody's ass or stabbing somebody or whatever violent, you know what I mean? That, to me, even though the amount of people experiencing in this country might be statistically insignificant in comparison to everybody, I don't want to live in a place where that's moving up. Right. And this maybe it isn't. Maybe this falls right back down again. I don't know. Maybe it's just a little blip in the radar of the broader data point. But I don't disagree that we should be concerned with a 12% increase in violent hate crime over a year.
We should be concerned about one
hate crime. If it's 12% next year and 12% next year, in 10 years we're living in a place we're having a different conversation.
Oh, yeah. Look, if that's right, if it's a trend
possible.
and every year it's going up and up and up and up, then absolutely.
But see, when you're at the beginning of a trend or a possible trend, you have to consider that, and that's where I fall on this.
No, I mean I agree.
I
with
don't
that.
necessarily think that. I think all you got to do is look at the numbers to know that, and know the number of people that are in this country to know that you're probably not going to experience this. That doesn't mean that the people that do experience it are insignificant.
My only thing about it is I just wish that the news media was a little bit more responsible with giving people a realistic fucking viewpoint of the exactly wwhat's going on, what the fucking data is, and how it fucking stacks up against the big picture.
And this goes back to...
Because it bleeds, it leads, and all that bullshit.
Yeah, we'll go back to fucking the movie Bowling for Columbine. Talk about an event that happened in 2001. Fear sells. Fear is what gets people motivated. And well, this isn't an insignificant problem. I mean, like we all said, one is too many. But at the same time, that's the narrative. I agree with you. That's the narrative that's being sold. It's a fear-based thing because fear motivates you to consume and to be afraid and to be worried. And I think the next story you said just
Yeah, I mean, this next story
shows that even further.
American millennials' mental and physical health is on the decline, and they're on track to die faster than Gen X, a new report says.
Wow, that's crazy, dude.
American millennials are seeing their physical and mental health decline at a faster rate than Gen X did, a Blue Cross Blue Shield report found. Without proper management and treatment, millennials could see a 40% uptick in mortality compared with Gen Xers of the same age, the report found. Behavioral health is a key factor in the decline of millennials' health. The generation has seen rise in depression rates and in deaths of despair. The financial burdens millennials are facing can not only affect their mental health, but prevent them from seeking treatment at a time when healthcare costs are climbing. Visit Business Insider's home. Yeah, fuck that. American millennials aren't exactly the picture of health. I mean,
see, this is another
the stuff in this article is all going to be these.
But I got to be honest with you.
Here.
The way that they're covering this, I have a problem with. The question should be why. We shouldn't just be assuming all of these, because a lot of this just paints. It's an attempt to paint millennials as lazy and not wanting to leave their houses and
The
shit.
blame is always.
There's never a conversation about the fact that they have absolutely less job security than Generation Xers did. They have less power to collectively bargain for their rights in those positions, less access to jobs that will pay a fucking fair wage and make a living on. A lot of the fucking jobs that existed for Generation Xers are gone from this economy now.
Yeah, the only thing they mention about an underlying cause at all is just that millennials are financially struggling to pay these fucking healthcare bills and shit.
It's access to healthcare.
But I mean, that's that is just one facet of what's going on.
Isn't that what it comes down to? Access to good jobs, not there. Access to healthcare, a lot of times not there. Access to affordable housing, not there.
I wonder if that has anything to do with this. I wonder if the fact that they legitimately have it worse than the generation that preceded them when it comes to all of those factors has anything to do with the uptick in bad mental health and people not wanting to leave their fucking houses.
You might be onto something.
Absolutely.
You know what? And in another thing, maybe like people not wanting to leave their houses has something to do with how fucking mass processed and homogenized everything's become in this fucking country.
How about mass shootings?
Because I got to be honest with you, dude, I've kind of become that type, and I'm right. I straddle Generation X and the millennial generation. I was born in 1980, so I'm technically a millennial. And I'm telling you, I'm fucking right there with you. I don't want to go out anymore. Because every time I go out, I'm just assailed by gaudy advertisements and shittily designed roads and businesses that are cutting corners on fucking every fucking possible quality aspect. Yeah, why do I want to leave my fucking house? For what? I can fucking totally identify with this. And the answers have nothing to do with this generation being lazier than the one that came before it. A lot of these people want to work. They want to have enough money to have a little family and pay their taxes and have a little white picket fence.
You've talked about it a number of times, Paul, about the kind of stuff that your parents were able to do with
bears mentioning
manual
again.
labor jobs. Yeah, I mean, I think you should mention it again.
My father was a mechanic, not a boss of the mechanics. He eventually became that. But when he was able to do what I'm going to talk about, he was a mechanic, a grease monkey dude at a factory that made wine bottles. My mom wasn't even at that level. She was just a floater. She would sometimes do hand selecting. She had a bunch of jobs. She was like the gopher person at a fucking glass plant. With those two types of jobs, no educate. Well, my dad had a high school diploma. My mom didn't even have a high school diploma. She never graduated high school. On those two wages, my parents were able to buy 3 or 4 acres of land outside of town. And not a house that was already pre-built. They had it built. They engaged a designer to come and design a house to their specifications and then had it built on land that they owned. On those 2 fucking salaries. And they raised 2 kids with it.
That's crazy, man.
So 2 children. Really not. I got to be honest with you, dude. The first house that I lived in and was born into was nice as fuck. Custom built, beautiful house on a big old plot of land with no high school education. And look at millennials now. Who could claim that?
Yeah.
Who could
getting-
drop out of high school
Yep.
and get a job that pays for half of a house on a plot of land that you own?
At a factory.
At a factory or similar low-level, no education required type of job.
That seems like a fantasy at this point. That seems like a total work of fiction.
And then check this out. Access to higher education for people at the lower end of the economic spectrum is worse than it was when my parents were fucking... So you can't even make the argument that, like, well, they should go to school then. They can't.
Yeah, and not to mention, even if they do go to school, it's probably going to take them years to find a job in the relevant field if they ever fucking find one. They're going to be under a mountain of student debt that if they fail to pay off by the time they're eligible for Social Security, their Social Security checks can be garnished to pay for the fucking debt. It can't be dismissed in bankruptcy.
How many
it's there for life.
Yeah, how many millennials is that going to happen to?
Going to college at this point is basically a fucking scam. That's designed to put you under a crushing mountain of debt that you can never pay off and never get excused.
There's like a kind of an adage that gets, and it's usually it talks about family, but I think it bears mentioning for generations of Americans, whole generations. There's this hope of each generation that their children will inherit a world that was better than theirs, that things are just a little better, that we've somehow greased the path for that next generation so they can pay that forward to the next generation and the next. That's the trend I think Americans all want to see.
Yeah.
Generationally, things are getting better. And we're seeing the opposite now. You are worse off being born now than if you were born in the 1950s or 1960s. You are worse off than the generation that preceded you by a significant margin. And do you think that's just going to stop with the generation coming up behind this one? Millennials are getting old. I'm one. I'm almost 40.
Oh, no,
what about Gen Z? What about the Zoomers?
Oh, dude.
You think they're going to be living high on the hog when this is the trend? It's going to be worse for them.
Dude, it's honestly at this point the baby boomers, it's victim blaming. But honestly, I just saw a study the other day that Zoomers and Generation Z actually with salaries are doing better at that point in their career than millennials. So it's kind of crazy because they actually came out with a better economy. I mean, at least in some respects, at least with wage growth. So it's like they have millennials who are actually behind Generation Z.
Great.
It's crazy. It's like we're just like that another generation that's kind of like, oh man, we got it in the fucking ass.
Well, I guess we'll see what the trend is, but I don't have a whole lot of hope that mental health is going to get better because I haven't seen any fucking movement towards actually taking it seriously as a crisis in this country.
Well, a lot of people have argued that it's basically the baby boomers that are holding it up. So maybe that is the case. Maybe
when the boomers croak.
Yeah, that things will really. I don't know. It will be too late, probably, in a lot of respects. Like you talk about in respect to climate change, definitely too late.
But this is the damage from this isn't contained within our generation.
Oh no,
because we raised the next one.
Of course.
So the children of this generation are being raised by parents who are under this yoke. That's not a good thing. That's not a good trend in this fucking country. Period.
David Attenborough shocked as BBC camera crew experienced very hot Antarctica.
Whoa.
Is he really, though?
David Attenborough was left stunned after his crew experienced very hot weather during filming in Antarctica, exposing the effects of climate change. Let's see about what this...
Damn, Antarctica's going to have some bomb-ass beaches pretty soon.
Cool. Let me get some beachfront Antarctic property. I don't think this video wants to play. Whatever. Earlier this month, Sir David Attenborough... Oh, never mind.
Worrying signs.
It's a really hot day today. 30 years ago, the front of that glacier was right down on the beach. It's retreated a huge amount. I don't really know
no need to worry.
Climate change is going to mean for all the wildlife that's living here.
I wonder.
Fuck that. What's it going to mean for me purchasing a slice of that land cheap now?
Than the rest of the world. If this trend continues, it will threaten the very existence of these polar creatures.
Get out of here, penguins.
You know what?
You've owned Antarctica long enough. It's time for us to come.
It's time for the reign of the tyrannical penguins to come to an end.
Listen, every other ecosystem on the planet has seen it, has dealt with it, has managed to find some little niche. You're going to have to do the same because we're coming. I'm telling you, if what I'm hearing here is that it's getting warm and tropical feeling on the beaches of fucking Antarctica, it ain't going to be long. We're going to be there in droves, man, in bathing suits and shit. We can't be fucking walking around through penguins. You guys are going to have to go find another roost.
Yeah, we can keep enough penguins for people to be like, oh, cute, a penguin.
Put them at the penguin zoo.
But 90% of you motherfuckers, probably a little
Dead.
more, dead, gone.
Because think about it. Dude, at a certain point in global warming, Antarctica is probably going to be like a paradise. It's probably going to be one of the only places that's even remotely temperate. You know what I mean? We're going to invade that motherfucker. We're going to be living all over that motherfucker, if that's the case.
There ain't shit there.
The team can't
That will bring shit.
help but reflect on the future of the wildlife here.
For me, it's emotional because I know this might have been a once-in-a-lifetime experience. I will definitely take big memories.
Oh,
Well,
dude,
for the next generation, it's a never-in-a-lifetime experience, so...
as Antarctica melts, it's going to reveal some fertile-ass valleys and shit. You know what I mean? As these glaciers continue to retreat, there's going to be some nice, fertile soil there to grow our crops on. It's going to be way fucking cooler than it is at the equators. Oh, we're coming.
We're coming.
These fucking penguins better pack their shit.
You guys can have the equator.
Yep.
Good luck.
Yeah, good luck with that. It's ruined.
Good luck with
That-
our
I actually-
190-degree equator.
I've actually read, some scientists talking about the eventual migration of humanity towards the poles to try and escape some of the warming that we're seeing eventually. So I
Headed off
fully
of the
believe.
path.
I fully fucking believe, dude. It's gonna happen.
You know what I fully believe, Paul?
Furthermore, TJ,
Yeah, Scotty.
a reason to invade Canada.
That's
Yeah.
true. They have the fucking whole route cut off.
They
to
got that North Pole, dude.
to the green, verdant valleys of the North Pole. We
We're
got to
coming
get
for
past
it.
those motherfuckers.
Steamroll them. Take it while its fucking time is right. Plan ahead, America.
Japan, Scotty, is having a shortage of ninjas, despite offering $85,000 salary.
Jesus.
I mean, they offered me double that, but I mean, I just wasn't interested.
Yeah,
the
dude.
fuck is wrong with you? You got a country that's willing to pay you to be a ninja, and you're not doing it.
I mean, just felt they're too low skilled, man.
All right, so this is in a city called Iga. Located in Mie Prefecture, Japan, is having a lesser-known crisis compared to the demographic one that the country is currently facing. Huge shortage of ninjas, despite offering candidates a pretty hefty annual salary of $85,000 as a maximum. The small city, which is believed to be the birthplace of ninjas, receives about 30,000 tourists to see and experience the annual Ninja Festival held in Iga. But while this may be good news to some, the city is actually suffering from depopulation, and young people are now moving away from rural countryside, Business Insider reported.
All the ninjas are moving away.
Last year, my prefecture only attracted 43 new young residents, as the whole of Iga lost about 1,000 residents.
That's crazy, dude. 43 new young residents.
To help bring back the local economy's boom, Iga's mayor, Sake Akamoto, plans to use its ninja heritage to attract both local and international tourists during its annual celebration. However, with the problems listed, pulling that off may pose some difficulties. So
Can't find enough ninjas to.
So you know what the problem is right now? They're discriminating against whites.
Yeah. What about getting Jean-Claude Van Damme over there?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
What
Why
about-
get- he's kind of a ninja.
Fuck that.
Get the weebs, dude.
Yeah, let some fucking anime nerds come over there and fucking show
Yeah.
They
strut
would
their
love,
stuff,
They
bro.
would love to be ninjas.
Get some fat, sweaty guys in Naruto headbands over there.
Yeah,
Do
dude.
some jutsu.
I mean, look,
It's time, bro.
look, Japan's losing people. We don't want weebs. There's this fucking solution,
It
man.
seems like a fucking mutually beneficial arrangement to me.
And we've advocated for this before. Japan, you are losing people. Stop. Stop it.
We've got people.
Turn the tides around. Let's fucking turn this around, Japan. We've got a fucking plan. Contact us at Deep Fat
Dude.
Fried. We're going to solve the demographic
Yeah.
crisis in Japan.
We're going to send you an infusion of horny weebs
Yep.
to get that fucking sex machine rolling again over there.
And it's going to be
Because
rolling.
we got tons of unrequited horny weebs whose only dream in life is to have sex with a beautiful Japanese woman.
Get them over there.
What's the
we can make dreams come true, Japan. Just think about that. We can make dreams come true. You guys don't even have enough ninjas now. You guys don't even have enough ninjas. How are you going to protect yourself?
We've
It's the
got
weebs,
tons
man.
of ninjas. We got tons of ninjas. They would be swamped with applications.
See, this is what Japan gets for being so closed off to outsiders, man. Let us in, Japan.
It's a terrible idea.
Let us in.
It's a terrible idea. We only improve everything we set foot on. That's
Damn
the
right we do.
American way.
Americans improve everything. A little dash of America. That's what Japan needs.
Yeah, little weeb.
Quit
dash of the
discriminating
weeb.
against us, Japan. All right. That's the show. Thank you guys for watching. Fuck you. Die of
See ya.
AIDS. Bye.